Hello, everybody, and welcome to Random Number Generation. This is going to be Episode 7, Link to the Past, Super Metroid Combo Randomizer. I am Skybilz, your host, and I'm joined here by Andy, Lackattack24, and Zos. A few announcements real quick, though, before we get to introductions. The first step is going to be on Thursday at 7 p.m. The Frame Fatale Games List is out on Friday the 24th, and prize submission for Frame Fatale opens the 24th. As a reminder, GDQ Hotfix is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix programming, subs are the best way to do so. Sub revenue in January in particular goes to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. So if you eventually want to support Hotfix, that will start next month. However, support the charity and sub to GDQ to support the Prevent Cancer Foundation for the remainder of January. And with that, hello everybody. How are you all doing? Andy, Laxos, nice to have you all here.
Glad to be here.
Yep, thank you.
All right, let's get this race underway. We do have a 4-hour estimate for a reason, and we'll talk about why that might be the case. We are going to be using hard logic here. All right, is everyone ready to go? I'm going to count from 3.
I am ready.
I'm ready.
All right, runners are ready. Here we go. In 3, 2, 1. Good luck and have fun, runners.
Thank you.
Anyways, welcome everybody. We got a Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer hard logic race with Super Metroid World Champion Zosty and Zelda 1 World Champion Lactac.
Yeah, I thought we were playing Zelda 1. I don't know what I signed up for.
So with these, you always start in Super Metroid. Start on the ship. There are 4 transition points that take you between Super Metroid and A Link to the Past. And those are, spaced out in different areas of the game to also depict, different progression through both games. Lots of people choose to come straight to Link to the Past. Without any items in Super Metroid, you can only check 2 item locations. But in Link to the Past, there's a lot more stuff that you can check right off the bat.
I think the game starts in Super Metroid, so you can get your buttons configured. I'm guessing that's the reason.
Total had talked about making the button configurations something you put in when you make a seed, but I don't know if that'll ever happen. And yeah, you can find Super Metroid items in A Link to the Past. You can find Link to the Past items in Super Metroid. Everything is completely shuffled. Dungeon items are always in the dungeons. Yeah, it's a wonderful time.
Yes, and for those of you watching on Twitch and YouTube, this is a live race, not co-op race. We've seen a bit of, I believe, both at GDQs historically, right, Andy? Hasn't there been a race and a co-op run done?
Ivan and I did a co-op run last SGDQ, but there hasn't been an SMZ3 race, like an actual race ever.
Oh, we got to do that then at some point.
It's really interesting to see Zost with the vast Super Metroid experience, but not quite as much Link to the Past experience, and then Lack probably with more Link to the Past experience than Super Metroid experience. It's interesting to see how players who specialize in one game over the other handle the other one.
Yeah, very slowly is how I handle Super Metroid. But it's a lot of fun. Like when I get a room that looks good or feels good, it's so nice. It's very rare though that I get exactly what I try to do.
So we typically talk about the flags or what this randomizer entails at the beginning of a race. So what does hard logic, what goes into that, and how is it different from, let's say, normal logic?
So normal logic is mostly beginner friendly. You do need to know a couple things about Super Metroid. The logic also only takes into account Super Metroid things, not Link to the Past things. Link to the Past logic is always glitchless. But so Super Metroid normal logic assumes that you know how to infinite bomb jump. It takes into account some very, very simple wall jumps and it takes into account a basic shine spark, where hard logic assumes you. So it's pushing the wrong block there. Hard logic takes into account the fact that you actually know what you're doing in Super Metroid, and it assumes that you are good at wall jumping, you can short charge your shine sparks. You may be required to do hell runs, which would be going through Norfair heated rooms without various suits. Those are locked by specific health requirements. And you could also be required to go through Meridia without the gravity suit, depending upon other items that you have.
You wouldn't have to go through all Meridia, but some of it.
Yeah, some of it. And I'll tell you what, that is fun. If you've never
It is.
never done it, I mean, it's definitely a challenge. Like,
Yeah.
I remember the first time I just tried it randomly one night, and I think I spent like 45 minutes just getting up Main Street. Like, it was bad.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Did you mention bomb jumps? I think you have to do that in both logics. So
Yeah, bomb jumps are in both logics. Pretty nice seed early. Yeah, pretty much the general route is some people choose to go do the two checks in Super Metroid you can do first, which would be the Retro Brinstar Ceiling E-Tank and the Morph Ball location. Those are the only two things you can do right off the bat in Super Metroid. So a lot of people choose to just come to Kakariko. There's a lot of chests here. South of Light World has a lot of chests. Eastern, there's a lot of stuff to do in Link to the Past. You did see one of the transition points already. Criteria takes you to the fortune teller near Link's house. There's a transition point in Upper Norfair that is on Death Mountain. So that's connected to a Death Mountain cave. Meridia has a warp that takes you to the Dark World Ice Rod cave area, and then Lower Norfair has a warp in Mire area. So they're all the later game warps are locked by a decent chunk of items in both games.
I'm trying to figure out where Zost is based on his game volume.
Uh-oh. I can turn it down if you want me to.
It's okay. I do hear it coming through, but I don't think it really does anything.
The four transition points are always the same. That way, it kind of takes another thing to think about routing wise when you have items, like whether you want to go through Super Metroid somewhere, maybe go back to Link to the Past and take a warp to get there instead. There's a lot of interesting things and a lot of interesting logic changes since both games are incorporated. Like if you get Death Mountain access, you can technically get to Upper Norfair without the Morph Ball. And so there's a lot of really interesting things that you can skip that you wouldn't normally be able to if you were just doing a randomizer of one game or the other.
So maybe you might know this, either three of you. How does the ROM switch between games? This has been a pretty common question from the audience so far.
Well, there's 4 doors that bridge the gap between the two games, and they're always the same door. Same 4 doors in both of the games. So you just go through there, and it's just the way that the ROM is constructed that when you go through those doors, it points you to the other game. And it's actually pretty amazing that the games are allowed to be kind of glued together like this. It's kind of by chance that it even works at all. The ROMs take up different memory banks, I think is kind of the short answer in the ROM. So
yeah, they take up different halves of the game RAM. There's a theory that they were intending on releasing like a dual cartridge of Link to the Past and Super Metroid at some point, and that's why they were programmed that way. But obviously that never came out, so no one will ever know.
But we ended up getting it anyway, so Joke's on,
Yep.
joke's on you, I guess.
Oh my god.
I will say, watching Zos play Link to the Past is always a treat.
Nice.
I'm much better at NMG than I am at Rando. Well, I was, I guess. I did play this for quite a while there, some Z3.
I don't know if I can do this.
So, there is a question here. Is it possible to soft lock in either? And I'm going to add to this question. Is it possible to soft lock in either, or does the two games being combined cause a soft lock, or does anything kind of strange happen in the testing process with y'all or for the community as a whole?
So there's no way to get items soft locked in either game, but naturally you can soft lock yourself in Super Metroid. If you don't have morph ball bombs and you're only relying on power bombs to get through like bomb walls and stuff, if you run out in travels, you can get yourself stuck. So there are some places where you do need to keep in mind like ammo counts if you don't have morph ball bombs, or else you can get stuck and have to reset. But logically, the seed is always beatable.
Yeah, we did find some interesting stuff with the multi-world. But this isn't multi-world, so... But this has been out for quite a while, so it's pretty stable now.
Just giving a quick reminder, make sure everything that you've gotten is tracked already. I'll remind y'all a couple times throughout, but just a quick reminder about that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god.
I was missing one thing.
Sorry. Sorry.
I've never seen crabs be so nice before in my life. Goodness. So wow, I can't believe Zos knows how to do what he's doing right now. I feel like he might have learned this specifically for today.
No, I used to know how to do this. I had to relearn it for today.
All right, another good question here. Who maintains SMZ3? Is it a collaboration between Z3 Rando and the Super Metroid Rando creators? Good question.
Not really. So Total was the original developer, and he's still the main developer. There are other people that help him now, but this is basically Total's brainchild. He was the one who made like a theory concept of both games being linked together, and then he took whatever the current iteration of Link to the Past Rando's logic was, which is version 29, and made it his own. And then Super Metroid logic is all his own. All the logic was written specifically for this, for the most part. So yeah, it is heavily maintained by one person, which is absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, Zos did a cool little glitch there called Water Walk, which lets you puts Link in a weird state that allows you to walk on deep and shallow water, and it lets him do some of those checks a little more quickly.
That's what I'm talking about. That item I just got.
So yeah, I get to say that, and Lax's like, man, what if he got something good in one of those flipper locations?
Maybe.
He's got that in the back of his head now. You never know.
Yeah, I do. I actually forgot to go over there. I actually forgot to go over there when I went over to Ice Rod Cave. But
So this is a common conversation starter I like to use when we begin with one of these. What is the most awkward position you've ever found yourself in with the randomizer? Like, what is just something that you've just sort of like, wait, how is this going on? And I feel like there's a lot of those moments in a combo randomizer.
Well, I mean, I guess I could start. I did not know that continuous wall jumping was a thing, and it was also required in 2 back-to-back seeds that I did in the tournament. So it was learning how to do that was a lot of fun. Like on stream while I was doing it.
Yeah, quote unquote fun.
Yeah. It took a while. Actually, Zost is the one. He taught me how to do it. So hopefully it's required today because I know how to do it.
How
What was
about
the
you,
question?
man?
I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, Zost. Any quote-unquote fun moments, awkward positions you found yourself in with the combo rando in particular?
Okay, I know a good one. So, so I was in Thief's Town, right? And I couldn't pull the required item to progress was in Big Chest, I think. And I didn't have mitts. I didn't have the gloves, I think, or something like that. Or I couldn't pull the big block for some reason. I didn't know you could kill all the enemies to
To go
open
around.
the left door. And so I was just so mad. I was like, I don't know where to go. I'm so mad. And, I had to quit that race because I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know that was a thing.
I think the most interesting seed I've had. I don't know. Like the weirdest thing that happened was probably me getting gravity suit at Spring Ball location. That was a lot of fun.
Oh wow.
Oof. I didn't know that. Oh, I guess it would be possible.
You need high jump and ice beam and grapple and space jump. I think you need a lot of stuff to get there. You need to freeze one of the baby Dragon things so that you don't sink into the sand in the waterfall.
Right.
And then grapple to break the block, and then oh god. And then you need space jump to get out of the oscillating water above that grapple thing. Yeah, I dropped my controller. It's my bad.
Are you playing along, Andy?
Oh no, not at all. I'm just right next to my Super Nintendo, and I nudged the cable, and it caused it to fall off my desk.
All right, quick reminder again. Just remember to track all items again. I'm only going to remind every 10 minutes, and I swear to goodness, I'm going to get a bot that says make sure you track. But just do the best y'all can.
There's so much going on.
I know.
Fine, I won't even... Okay, never mind. I won't even say what I'm doing. No!
Oh.
Let's calm down. I can't believe I only have 3 hearts. Still.
I know, right? It's just pretty
the one
health count.
The one fun seed that or the fun thing that randomizer brings to the table is a lot of
thank goodness.
It can put you in difficult situations like this where you're exploring the dark worlds with very low health. All the enemies do pretty much 2 or more hearts of damage. And maybe you don't have a weapon or a good weapon at the very least, so it's a lot of impromptu on the fly decision making when you're doing things you're not used to.
So, some people may find themselves asking about the estimate. Why did you all choose 4 hours for an estimate? What could happen that could be the worst case scenario where it would take 4 hours?
Go ahead, Zeus.
Well, I mean, you could get what's the Master Sword location called? I forgot.
The Master Sword pedestal.
Pedestal. You could get pedestal for one. I think pedestal morph ball, is that a thing still?
Probably.
Sure.
So that could make for a really long seed. You could in this case, we're not finding many hearts, so we could die a lot because it's easy to die in a dark world. You have 3 hearts in the green mail.
Yeah, they could be forced to do pretty tight hell runs in Super Metroid. With hard logic, there is the nice thing about hard logic is it puts more stuff into logic earlier with less items. But the bad thing is that can lead to some pretty difficult item collecting. It can lead to some more double dips because more stuff is open earlier. So it's a double-edged sword, I suppose.
Yeah, you can just have really convoluted progression chains. like having to go back and forth between each game or stuff like that. And I don't know, 3 hours is pretty average, I would say, for these. I mean, maybe if you played a lot, you might get in the mid 2s or something, mid to high 2s.
Just kind of depends on how hard the seed is. Like, yeah, an average seed, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, if you have to go looking for progression early on, or you don't have like speed booster or Pegasus boots, like that can really slow you down.
Yeah, that makes sense. During GDQX, I remember it took a little while to acquire the Pegasus boots because I was reading shoe puns for, I don't know, hour and change.
Sometimes you just lose that 1 in 22, and then everything goes down the toilet.
Yeah, I remember watching that.
So, you know, they're both runners are still pretty hard stuck in A Link to the Past at the moment. They don't really have that many. They still only have the first 2 items to do in Super Metroid. You need Morph Ball, or like, you know, Screw Attack opens up 1 extra item, but Morph Ball is the big lock of Super Metroid. If they get, you know, access to other areas, they might be able to get access to other Super Metroid areas via a portal, but until they get that, you know, doing some stuff out of logic isn't necessarily the best idea this early, because then they might be skipping something pretty important along the way. The goal is to so in Link to the Past, all the crystals and pendants are shuffled. So 7 dungeons are crystals, 3 dungeons are pendants. The goal is to get all 7 crystals, and, you know, whatever items you need to beat those crystals, defeat Ganon's tower, and kill Ganon. And you also need to kill all 4 major bosses in Super Metroid, which would be Kraid, Phantoon, Dragon, and Ridley. And then go through Torian and beat up on Mother Brain. You can beat them in any order you want. You'll generally see runners beat Ganon before Mother Brain because it's a little bit faster in most cases. So you gotta beat everything in all the games.
Tell you what, that room is pretty hard without a sword.
I missed what room it was.
Well, you can probably guess by looking at my stream now.
Yeah, someone was mentioning what would happen if there were to be crowd control with both games, and I think only one person here can really give some insight on that, and that was the one who just played the crowd control. Andy, how would you feel playing this with crowd control on Super Metroid?
Oh man, I've heard some bad things about crowd control Super Metroid. There's been talks about trying to get it to work for the combo randomizer. And it just wouldn't let you purchase things from one game if you were in the other game. But it would be really rough. That would, oh god, I don't even know.
I haven't tried that one.
I've watched Oats and Goats do a couple, and it looks pretty terrible.
Oh, finally.
Also, thanks to some of the work that the community members have put in, we do now have some community information, all in that link, samus.link. For those of you on YouTube, again, that's samus.link. And that will provide you all of the information you would need about this randomizer. So if you would like to know more about it, please consult that link. Or again, if you're on YouTube, that's samus.link. Pretty easy to remember with the combo rando.
So yeah, like I said earlier, the Link to the Past logic is in fact glitchless. So going through, you know, for example, not saying that either runner has done this yet, Going through dark rooms without a lamp is never required. So, you know, if they do decide to do that at some point, and they get a key item behind that dark room, they know that cannot lead to the lamp. There's a lot of logic like that in place to make sure that every seed is beatable.
So I'm gonna try to answer this, but feel free, Zost is our resident Metroid runner, to chime in here. People want to know, why are we seeing so much Link to the Past right now? I assume that's because a lot of Metroid you cannot navigate through without the Morph Ball, but Zost may have a better answer than me for that.
That's exactly correct. There's only 2 items you can check without Morph Ball. Morph Ball is really necessary to progress in the Metroid. It's like the first item you get in the vanilla game, so the game's built around that. So yeah.
Yeah, if you get Death Mountain access, you can get access to one other item.
Oh yeah.
without anything, but that also requires more items in Link to the Past. But yeah, Super Metroid is very hard to navigate without Morph Ball.
Well, with that being said, where's the most unfortunate place you can find Morph Ball?
Definitely Pedestal if it still can be there. I know it can't be in Ganon's Tower.
Yeah, it can't be in Ganon's Tower. It's generally supposed to be in like the first like 50% of the game or 30% of the game or something like that, but I don't exactly know what kind of logic goes into that kind of placement. You can get some really interesting locations, like if you get Ice Beam or Space Jump and you have Death Mountain access, you can go to Alpha Power Bombs and Morph Ball can be there.
That's a bad one. It's a tricky one.
They changed one of the power bomb doors to be not a power bomb door, so that you could actually get out of that area if you go that way. Yeah, there's some pretty crazy locations. There's some locations in Lower Norfair that can have it as well if you have a ton of items already. But
yeah, Pink Brinstar I got one time. That was, or like Charge Missile. That was pretty fun.
Yeah, Screw Attack opens up some locations. Speed Booster opens up some locations. Yeah, just straight up nothing in Super Metroid can't really do too much.
So that would explain why then these runs typically begin with Link to the Past then, unless the Morph Ball is right away, which then I wonder if you're spending the majority of the first half of your run in Super Metroid then.
Yeah, pretty much. Like whichever game you can more easily clear. With not too much ammo and just Morph Ball and Super Metroid, it's kind of a hit or miss, because there's a lot of locations that you're going to end up skipping and having to come back to later if necessary, and that always feels bad. Whether it's like power bomb counts or just only having Morph Ball bomb instead of power bombs.
So, Andy, you're in a tournament race and you do SMZ3. What is the ideal first item you'd like to start with? And this can go to Lack and Zost as well.
High jump boots. Yes. Metroid sucks without high jump boots.
Probably Speed Booster or Morph Ball. Or boots. Maybe
yeah.
boots.
Yeah, like any sort of like fast movement, anything in either game.
Yeah, definitely. I would opt for boots early, mostly to save my hands. Just because if you're walking around using the D-pad the entire time, it can be, and you don't need the boots to beat the game technically, or depending on your seed. So it's not 100% that you'll get it. Ow.
You having fun there, Lack?
No, I'm getting poked in the back. I just want to go help a kid out. Ah! Good stuff.
Well, that is a great item on Lack Attack side.
Yeah.
Toasty's shaking in his boots now.
Oh.
Oh, so you're saying he has boots?
Maybe he's wearing boots. I don't know. I don't know what Zosty wears while he's gaming.
It sucks.
I would hope more than socks, though.
Just socks, yeah. Just socks. I did actually put pants on for this run, so.
Wow.
That's good.
I actually do too. That's really weird for
Yeah.
me. I'm usually wearing pajamas.
How about you, Andy? You chilling?
I just finished streaming, so I'm wearing a shirt and some sweatpants.
So you're gonna have me laughing all night now. That sucks. All right, so there's no segue to this whatsoever. So I want y'all to plug yourselves. What else do you run? What do you stream? What other randomizers might you play, or favorite randomizer? And then what other non-randomizers do you play? Any of y'all can start depending on where you are right now. If you all are a bit occupied with whatever's on your screen, Andy can start.
Let Andy start.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Well,
The biggest streamer there is.
I'm Andy. I stream a lot of Link to the Past stuff, mostly Link to the Past randomizers. I do speedruns of it sometimes. Been playing it for 7 years, so like speedrunning, is way more hit or miss now than it was back in the day. I'm actually starting to get into Mario ROM hacks. Played some Kaizo Mario the other day. But yeah, you'll see me do like these combo randos a bunch. I play Rocket League sometimes. Yeah, I like pugs. That's it.
Andy throwing the casual lore in there with Rocket League. I like it.
Carball. That's the only thing I know.
Ball. What about you, Lack? You're not doing anything important right now.
Nah, I play a lot of NES, Super Nintendo games, mostly speedruns, and I do some well and some not so well. But okay, like I'm probably most well known for Zelda 1. I played at GDQ a few times and have done SMRPG, although not in the last few years. I do a lot of Mario. Just all different types of Mario. I usually set a list of goals, but I haven't done that in a couple years. So I do a lot of Zelda 2, Link to the Past. I play this combo randomizer probably more than any other randomizer, I would say. So I really enjoy this. The multi-worlds of this is really fun too. I like racing with friends. That's usually the most fun. It's low stress, and you can, talk to each other and stuff. So do a lot of that. I'm indifferent towards pugs, but I like them because Andy likes them.
Quick note here too. Lag Attack did just do a Super Mario World One Mind co-op with Author Blues, and if you haven't seen that already, after this race, or if you're watching this on YouTube, your next video should be queued for that. I believe it should be on the GDQ YouTube as well. It is something to see. It is one of the best Super Mario World ROM hacks you've ever seen. If you haven't seen it yet, the only preview I'm going to give you is it's going to switch over between each runner between, what is it, every 3 to 5 frames, Slack?
30.
Oh, 30 frames. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking of seconds, not frames. But yeah, every 30 frames, it'll switch back and forth between Off and Lack, and hilarity just ensued. I rewatched that right before this, and it's definitely worth seeing. If you've seen it, it's worth a rewatch.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to do. It's just fun to play. Like, if you're looking for something to play and have a friend over, you should definitely try it.
Well, gotta be careful though. That could cause a dispute between yourself and a friend.
Well, yeah, of course. I'd say it's worth it though.
Oh,
Oth and
absolutely.
I are still okay after we talked for a few hours.
I missed what Oth, because I was on the couch with my headset on. I missed what Oth said to you after y'all did something in the first castle.
Oh, probably that was not me or something to that effect.
No,
But or oh wait, the message box one?
no, Oth said he was sharing his love for you. Not really at the time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was a whirlwind, so yeah, definitely go check it out. It was fun.
And then, if you want to see Zost on GDQ, you have to go a few years back, but Zost is a very, very prominent Super Metroid runner, and I will tell you all this much. I learned something about Zost a couple years ago. Zost runs also Trojan, which I did not know about. I love that game.
Yeah.
So good.
What else do you run, Zost?
A little bit of Link to the Past, Symphony of the Night. I do a lot of music too. I'm a musician. I just released an album at zost.bandcamp.com. If anybody's interested in that. No! Oh, wait. No! Go, B, go! Ah!
Zost between a rock and a hard place right now.
Alright. Well.
And Lack just leaving that thing that Zost wanted right on the screen there. Unbelievable.
That was a
What?
pretty good reaction. And people ask me, why are the runners on there? Isn't something going to get spoiled? No, this is more about the runners and their communities. And reactions like that, I'm sorry, are worth any kind of spoiler that could happen to me. That was fantastic. Thank you, Zost.
Yeah, we're just here to have fun. Like, yeah, spoilers can happen, but it's not a serious race. We're all here to have fun, and I'm here to talk about all the dumb things they're doing.
Like going over here with no key.
Exactly.
Oh. I like that.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
It's something. Oh, why did I go over here? Okay, I'm updating my tracker for Skybilz.
Ay.
Are you putting me on this? That's all right. I'll put my name on the line for the people in the chat. It's cool. It's cool.
Well, yeah, Andy's not fussing at me to keep up with my tracker.
I'll tell you something. YouTube's ferocious.
I'm still waiting for Zost to track a beam that he got like 30 minutes ago.
Oh. Oh, I know what it is.
There we go.
Tell you what, I'm not feeling too confident about my situation. I guess I don't have to do this. Yeah, we'll just come back.
Well, that was a deflated sigh.
Yeah, I need money. Actually, you know what? Taking a gamble.
I would like to see that. Almost had Oth bleed into the mic.
Is he going to say how great it was to have me as a partner for One Mine?
I mean, probably. He's playing some game with like bugs on it or something right now. You know, Author Blues
Sounds
things.
like Author Blues, yeah.
Yeah.
That bug game that has bugs and you attack bugs and you have bug friends.
I can't even begin to describe half the games he plays.
Same.
Yeah, mostly because I've never heard of him.
Yeah, bug fables. There you go. Thanks, Royal Blue. Look at those two showing off currently what he's doing right now. This is so impressive.
I mean, I'll take that. It's actually not the worst find based on what my items are right now.
Yeah, there's a couple interesting situations that could be happening in this seed at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not playing this seed.
Yeah.
Viking runs me 4 hours. You're watching it right now.
Yeah, this is not looking good early.
All right, I don't know why this is bothering me, but what kind of socks, Zost?
What kind of socks?
Yeah.
They're like stripy, and they got blue and gray, dark blue and gray.
Are you a crew guy or an ankle guy?
Ankle guy.
Nice.
I used to be a crew guy, but
You saw the light.
I saw the light. Yeah.
I hated taking my socks off and having the hair that's right above my ankles be absolutely ridiculous because of crew socks.
Wait, I want to be there.
Wow.
Oh,
This
yeah,
isn't a link to the past. Spoilers.
I don't have like hair above my, like the middle of my shin is like bare.
Same. I think it's.
I got like these big bare spots in my legs.
Yeah, it's.
Mostly because like I used to work construction and I used to wear boots, like long, like high. What are they called? Ankle length, like leather boots or whatever. So I think they rubbed all the hair off. So it looks kind of ridiculous when maybe I should be a crew guy, so I'm not like exposing my weird bald spots on my legs.
I'm pretty okay with most socks, but the worst kind of socks are the ones like you're walking around during the wintertime and your socks just keep falling off your feet. And that drives me crazy. I mean, it bothers me so much.
Oh.
All right, so we can talk about this a little bit. Both runners not staying in Planet Zebes for too long. Again, probably goes back to if there's no more fall, a lot of that is difficult to explore.
What'd you say? Planet what?
Zebes? Is that not how it's pronounced?
I don't know. I was just giving you a hard time.
Nobody knows. Don't let anybody tell you that they know.
I always said. I just always said Zebes.
Other M is canon, and it has
No.
voice cutscenes, and they say Zebes. I found out.
Oh, all right. Well, there
I
you
did
go.
Yeah.
some research because my chat got in an argument one time.
Did you know that race is happening this weekend?
Oh.
Oh God,
Oh,
I did not.
At least one bullet dodged. Where is my music? Hello? Maybe it'll fix. Okay, I have music again. I can't go this way.
Actually, that is a really good point. So, how do the save points work on both sides? Now, Link to the Past you can save anywhere, and Super Metroid has fixed save points, but how does that work in terms of where you saved in the last game? That's something I didn't think about until now.
So the game automatically saves when you transition between games. If you transition from Link to the Past to Super Metroid, the game will save. If you haven't used a hard save point in Super Metroid, it'll default you to the ship. So that is used in certain situations to, maybe if you want to get back to criteria quickly, you can go through any Super Metroid warp point and reset your console. It'll put you on the ship. And then also, if you reset your console in Link to the Past, it'll also put you on the ship because the game just defaults to Super Metroid to start. But yeah, so Link to the Past, has a much more lenient saving system. Super Metroid, you do need to, use the hard save stations to save your game if you need to.
Ow. I'm having to go back and forth between the logic here because I'm not sure what's made it to SMZ3.
I will say what you're about to open is definitely a small key.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was like, I wasn't 100% sure, but... Oh, perfect. That's actually what I wanted. Just like I planned. Hurt! Hey, this item I've got is pretty handy.
Yo.
I'm using it in ways that I've never used it
before. Oh my god.
Well, pretty sure that's not my screen. No! That's not what I want. All right.
What's up next, Lack? What's on the mind?
Gonna head south here and finish what I started. Oh, well, let's just go see what this is. Don't do it. No. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, those birds can hurt.
Oh, I can't use cane. I thought I had enough magic and I didn't. Oh, that was bad. All right.
But you survived.
I did somehow. And I got Usain Bolt's cousin over here.
I was gonna ask what your end game was with that cane, but I wanted you to know, find out on your own.
Whew, okay. Take that. It looks like I've got enough magic to use it, but man, I really don't. Oh!
Alright, so Chad asks, is this swordless or are they likely both unlucky so far? So here's the thing. Here's the thing about all randos in general. You don't always need whatever primary weapon to finish, at least in most games. So, for example, you may not need a weapon till the end. In Zelda 1 randomizer, a lot of us don't use a sword sometimes until the end, until it becomes time to defeat Ganon, because you need the sword and silver arrows to defeat Ganon. But a lot of us go through any given Zelda seed using bombs, the wand, and red candle in order to proceed in the seed. So the answer is you don't always need the primary weapon to go far in a seed or to unlock parts of the seed.
Also, yes, they're unlucky.
Yeah, it's not like you're oh crap. You're not like given a sword at the start just because you kind of have to find it. And it could be a really long time till we find one. No, I died.
You do actually need a sword for a couple things in A Link to the Past, but depending upon like dungeon requirements, you're not really hard required to have them until Ganon. But you do need a sword to get into Misery Mire, to get into Turtle Rock, to beat Skullwoods, and to beat Aghanim. And then to check the medallion tablets.
Oh yeah, you do need one for Skullwoods. Open the curtain.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Good question here. Is it possible to find an upgraded sword before a basic sword?
Nope.
The answer is no. So all upgradable items minus the boomerang are progressive. So they're, instead of there being like the fighter sword, the master sword, the tempered sword, and the gold sword spread out, there's just 4 sword locations, and it and you find one, it gives you the next level. So you could find them in any order, and it'll always go level 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, in the very first versions of this game, there was a bug where if the sword location was the same room, Super Metroid, it wouldn't actually give you both swords.
Yep.
They had to fix that. That was not fun. I guess you could have like left the room and then came back in and got it. Assuming.
Yeah. It also works that way with lift upgrades in Link to the Past, with armor upgrades, and shields.
Not sure what I'm gonna do here. I need like 8 more of those. That is not what I need. Neither is. Oh my goodness.
I like how Lack's comment translated to Zeus part of the screen. That is not what I need.
Oh, I don't want that. Okay. I don't want that either. I don't want any of that. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work.
It definitely is not.
Yeah, I know. I'm just gonna do this, and I'll be back. Does this work? Nope. Oh, it doesn't work. It should. I'm just wasting
it does not work.
Yeah. I can use one of my items, but I don't have enough of the green stuff.
Yeah, that may or may not have been why Zost was yelling earlier.
Nice. All right. Here we go.
So number one Lackey says, this game is so stressful.
Oh, thank you. Can't wait till you play it.
Oh? I'd like to see that.
I guess she's talking about Link to... She has played this game. She almost beat Moldorm. I was really impressed. Got 5 hits in, but did not get the last one. So someday.
I believe.
That's my wife for anyone who wants to know.
She says, no, in caps.
I'm sorry. The deal was already made. You have to finish this.
For those of you who don't know, though, number one Lackey did finish Zelda 1, and I saw that.
That's true. That's
it's honestly more impressive.
Yeah.
If in my opinion, anyways. Zelda 1 is a very difficult video game.
Ah! You know, I passed that up earlier. But that's okay.
So earlier, a couple rooms ago, you saw Zos do a little glitch where he shot a super through a wave gate. It is potentially required in the hard logic of Super Metroid, or the SMC3 rando. Normally it's not doable on right-facing gates, but because of how high that gate is, the super missiles increase speed as they move, and if you do it just right, it like goes through the gate off screen somehow.
I think it maybe hit with how the gate loads or something. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it's sort of like, Maybe it's sort of like Sports Bond. Maybe, I don't know.
Good question here from Royal Blue Wizard. Is X-Ray Climb in the hard logic?
I don't think so.
I don't think escaping Dragon's room is ever required without, or ever in logic without gravity suit. I could be wrong, but I don't think it is. X-ray climb is never required. There's also other ways you can get out of Dragon's room as well without it.
Hasn't the logic change or the ROM changed to where it doesn't automatically save when you die in SM? That's good to know.
That was only in the multi-world. That was never a thing in the main one.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I've been playing too much multi-world. You know what? I changed my answer. High jump is super nice.
Yeah, you don't realize how much high jump boots speed up Super Metroid in general until you start doing everything without high jump boots, and you're like, man, this takes like 15 extra wall jumps, or you know, just like any vertical room feels like it takes forever without them.
It's really annoying to have speed booster when you don't have high jump, because like the way that it calculates your jumping height, like if you don't get a huge run, like you jump even lower with speed booster than without it. And you don't have high jump.
It's super dumb.
It's almost like they didn't expect us to have certain items without the other.
Correct, yeah. That's very correct, because like and then vanilla SM, you're supposed to get high jump to go into Kraid to get Varia to be able to get to the high jump or the speed booster location. So yeah, they definitely didn't expect you to have speed without high jump.
That's a good question from the chat. Are there different difficulty settings for us mere mortals that can't exploit glitches at will, right? It's a good way of wording it.
Yes, there is normal logic for Super Metroid. All of the logic for Link to the Past is glitchless. So if you know Link to the Past well enough to be able to, you know, beat it, like knowing where all the item locations are, you should be able to handle that side, you know, with enough resilience. But Super Metroid normal logic does require a little bit of knowledge. It's also just a much more difficult game, in my opinion, to execute properly. Even improperly, I feel like Super Metroid is probably a harder video game. But the game does teach you. It basically took into account very basic things that the game teaches you naturally in a casual playthrough, which would be like super basic wall jumping. If you get stuck in the Etakun area, you are forced to wall jump out casually.
If you save.
If you save, yeah. Which, I mean, if you're playing casually, who doesn't save at every single save point you find? Same thing with Shine Sparking. If you accidentally fall through the speed blocks on the way to Pink Brinstar, I don't even know what that bird is called. That teaches you, the Korra. Yeah, teaches you how to Shine Spark. So basic Shine Sparks and basic wall jumps are taken into account in the logic, and then the title screen actually shows you how to infinite bomb jump, which is kind of controversial being included in logic for like a decent reason, I suppose, because infinite bomb jumping is not the easiest thing to do.
It's not that bad. Like the thing that's kind of bad, I'd say, is if you have to double bomb jump, but you don't have to double bomb jump. You just single bomb jump up. Not too bad. You single bomb jump, I don't think.
So the thing chat's talking about right now is, can you beat the randomizer without playing the vanilla games? I would highly recommend before playing any randomizer to be sure you can beat the vanilla game first and kind of know basic controls and such, especially for something as complicated as combining two games together. Having knowledge of where things are is pretty important for something like this.
Yeah, going into this combo randomizer with no knowledge of either games, you'd probably not enjoy yourself and probably not finish. But
yeah, you may not have like E-tanks to fight bosses in Super Metroid, which is probably the hardest part. Because you can like grab potions and Link to the Past and kind of get there eventually. But SM, if you don't have the reserve or the energy tanks, you're probably going to struggle if you're not familiar with fighting bosses or anything.
Also, Kelsey says, Andy, can I sign up for an SM speedrunning beginners class?
Yo, I went in.
Sure, party at my house.
Heck yeah, I'm there.
Maybe guest teacher Zost will come by.
Oh, baby.
Do we have time for just a quick plug here for GDQ?
Go for it.
Of course.
All right. Remember, folks, GDQ Hotfix is brought to you by viewers like you. If you would like to support the GDQ Hotfix programming, subs are the best way to do so. But as a reminder, because this is January, sub revenue in January does go to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Subs for this month of January will be added to the final AGDQ total. So if you would like to contribute to that final total, please get those subs in.
Ooh.
I do not have a lot of health.
Please don't die live.
I won't.
Yes, so again, for people just coming in, it's myself, Skybilz, as host, and then we have Andy here on comms. Lack Attack and Zost are both racing, and yes, we are all in a voice call together. We want to provide the most authentic experience possible, and in doing that, we need everybody in on the call.
It's definitely different. It's kind of weird to get used to, especially for a randomizer setting where, saying too much could give things away, but it's definitely fun. Having been a runner in this already once before, it was definitely really fun.
Yeah, what I was gonna say earlier is maybe I'm being a little bit too much of a stickler, but I don't think you should rob yourself of the blind playthrough of the vanilla game because it's really good. Both of the games.
I agree.
Oh yeah.
I honestly enjoy watching blind Super Metroid playthroughs more than I enjoy watching blind Link to the Past playthroughs.
Oh, I like enjoying them better than like top level speed, like any speed run. I'd rather.
Oh
watch
yeah,
Super Metroid.
watching, especially with us old boys. Everyone here's pretty much an old boy in terms of speed running.
Yeah, you've been around for a while.
Speedrunning a game long enough, you can't really go back to the blind or casual play mindset again, and it's really fun to watch other people experience things for the first time.
Well, speaking of GDQ and Super Metroid blind playthroughs, I know Kizaran is doing his soon. I'm pretty excited for that. And if you have not played at least Super Metroid Blind, you should do yourself a favor and play Super Metroid if you haven't before. Link to the Past, it's okay. But Super Metroid, that Super Metroid game, it's pretty good. Now, Link to the Past is cool too. I found on a blind playthrough that Link to the Past was much more difficult than Super Metroid in terms of like the basics. Except for wall jumping, that is just very uncanny.
Yeah, the thing with wall jumping that makes it hard for a beginner is that people probably don't realize that you have to press away from the wall and then jump. So if you try them both at the same time, you fail it a lot.
Ooh, this one is specifically, I believe, for Zos. Wolfman asks a question from the newbie SMZ3 player. What is the best control scheme for Super Metroid? We were just talking about controls prior to this.
So even at top level Super Metroid speedrunning, there is no like standard at all for like what's best, or like so many people use so many different things at a high level. So basically, I would say whatever's comfortable to you. I just figured out what was comfortable to me on my own before I was even in the speedrunning sort of scene, and I've been using that ever since, and I've done pretty well with it. So yeah.
There's not really anything that's not doable with any control scheme, unless you put run on a shoulder button like a crazy person.
Even Behemoth does that.
That is crazy.
But even with that, any control scheme you can get good with enough practice. There's not really like a best control scheme. Over all three of us in here use different control schemes for Super Metroid. Pretty sure. And it's just, you know, whatever button you think should make Samus do something, I'd probably put it on that button.
Yeah, I have to mention this because chat mentioned this. Red Gyarados mentions throwback to when Lack changed Andy's controls at GDQ.
That was fun. You know, okay, in my defense, I'm glad I have this stage, because in my defense, he said, "Can you finish this for me?" And I thought I was going to have to play the rest of the game. That's why I changed it. So, my bad.
No, it was fine. It led to way more interesting content.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun development. But yeah, it was great because I had just learned how to do the Dragon kill. And I was like, "Oh man, this is my chance to shine." and he came back before I got to do it, so I'm a little upset, but I'll survive.
I remember sitting there at the hosting station. I had no clue what was going on. I look over at donations. The next minute, I'm looking over and Lack is sitting over there, and I'm like,
Yeah, I was like, "Is this legal? Like, can I do this?" But it worked for a few minutes. I also broke the capture too by resetting the game, so that was fun.
Wait, where am I going?
I still think the funniest thing about that run was, I think, like a couple hours before the run, I spent literally like 30 minutes just doing the Kraid quick kill because I didn't want to be the first person at a GDQ setting to miss the Kraid quick kill. Being by far the worst Super Metroid player to play Super Metroid at a GDQ. I was pretty nervous. And then once I got past Kraid, everything was fine. Until I died later. You know, that was kind of unfortunate. But but I was like one of the most nervous GDQ things I've ever done.
It's funny how like stuff like that will do that to you. Like just the really small things. Oh!
Now remember, if that ever does happen and someone does have to kill Kraid in full, that's called DLC, okay? I believe that's what all the cool kids are calling it, so try to cover it up with that.
Taking Kraid to the dance.
Taking Kraid to the prom.
I've already asked Kraid. He said yes. It's like a 99% chance that I will not be getting a quick kill.
I changed the way I'm doing quick kills, so I may miss it to you. Don't worry.
Oh, well, go fight him now, and then take the pressure off.
Who's going to be the
me.
first to miss?
So, another question from the chat. When is the NES Zelda Metroid randomizer coming out? I believe that has already been
It is already
released.
out.
Yeah, that's a thing.
It's only on emulator right now because it runs off of Lewis scripts.
It's not quite as fortunate as Link to the Past and Super Metroid as to actually operate functionally on a cartridge.
Yeah, the new EverDrive might open a door to that. So if you're a developer, go figure it out. I'd love to play it. I'm not playing it on emulator. Sorry.
Oh, big same. I mean, if it does ever come out on console, I'd love to do like a co-op run with like Metroid McFly. That would be pretty fun to be able to do that finally. I don't know what else I would want on a wish list for a combo rando. I kind of wish they could work somehow Super Mario World into this, and every time you get one of the exits, you get some kind of item. I don't know how it would be done, but that would be pretty awesome.
Gotta check all the question mark blocks for hookshot, you know?
All message blocks.
Yeah, there's randomizers for a ton of games. It is definitely, like, since Zelda 1 and Link to the Past randomizers have come out, the randomizer scene as a whole is definitely blown up pretty significantly. For a long time, it was pretty much just, like, Pokemon and Super Metroid were, like, the two big early ones that have been around for quite a while. That was a nice find there.
Yeah, that was... Well, yes and no.
Hey, knowledge is power. I learned that in grade school.
I learned that from Mortal Kombat 3.
It's a little
Anybody
different.
else? Anyone else? It actually says there is no knowledge that is not power.
It's a little different than Schoolhouse Rock.
So it is possible that false knowledge can happen. In a Zelda 1 rando at one point, we were in a race and we were looking for silvers. And in level 9, it said silvers are found elsewhere when the silvers were in level 9. So every now and then knowledge can work against you, but only if there's something a little bit amiss with the coding.
Guess we'll go this way.
Andy, what are you doing over there? Another question, is there a Mega Man randomizer? I believe there's one for Mega Man 2 to my knowledge. I don't know how many other Mega Mans are. I think there's one for X as well.
Yeah, there's a randomizer for X. I don't know if it's just 2. I think there were like some very early builds of some other Mega Man randomizers. Those have never really piqued my interest, but they do exist in some capacity.
All right, I'm going to do this because I've been a good sport to appease both. Make sure you check your trackers. Make sure everything you've gotten is tracked properly, especially for people watching from YouTube.
I'm like spending all my time looking at this tracker, making sure it's okay. Oh, I'm sorry. I missed my boomerang. I'm sorry. Let me get that.
Unacceptable. Who's winning so far? We're all winning.
Yeah. All right, I did practice this, so hopefully I'm able to not make a fool of myself.
That is true. I have been seeing a lot of subs so far, and thank you to everybody. And cancer prevention is truly winning. Remember, subs are going to PCF, so thank you so much, everybody, for all your subs so far. You can do this, Lack?
Well, I forgot I have a cheat code.
So, Lack is going to be attempting to do a little...
that did not work.
You need to hit him initially with something else.
Oh, I see. Well, that still did a lot.
So how is the seed so far, Lackins? Is this typically a bit tougher than you would think? Where would you rank it so far?
I wouldn't say it's the toughest I've seen, but it's on the tough end, I'd say. Mainly, but I would say, for me, the main reason is because I'm not as good as Link to the Past, so...
Yo, nice dog.
It's kind of tough, Link to the Past.
Thanks.
Sword, no mail. A lot of things were missing.
They have some health now at least, so it's not walking around the dark hole with 3 hearts. Besides the morph ball location, this seed hasn't been terribly bad. So what Lack is trying to do here is use the X-ray beam to reset the boss's iframes because plasma beam pierces enemies and goes through them instead of just hits them and disappears. You can use X-ray beam while the plasma charge shot is on screen and hit some bosses multiple times, and you can do that to kill Phantoons super quickly. That was
I'm actually proud of that fight.
Yeah, it was a real good Phantoon fight.
You should be proud of that fight. Dang, Lack.
Well, I messed up the microwave. I didn't know you had to like do something else first, so...
Yeah, if you hit him with the charge beam right off the bat, he just instantly disappears, so it only hits him once. You got like a 6 doppel though. That's pretty hot.
Yeah, that was pretty sick. Krauser would be proud. He's the one who taught me how to do.
Good old Cruiser.
How to doppel.
Dude, Cruiser and Zost go way back.
Oh yeah,
we love each other.
They were in the race.
It's funny, we give each other hell so much, and then like I saw him at GDQ, and he's just like, "Hey man, so good to see you."
Online, he's just like, "Dang it, old man."
Yeah, that's the censored version too.
Yeah,
That's true. Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if there's a family-friendly version of Krauser out there or not.
Yeah, I love Krauser though. Cruiser.
Same.
Got to shout out to all the runners for keeping it family friendly too. You know, you're put under that kind of pressure on a stage. It's so tough sometimes to not let something slip. So again, runners typically do a pretty good job of that, but it's tough. It's pretty tough.
Yeah, especially me. Just let them fly all the time.
Oh yeah, yeah. PG4 over here, Lack Attack.
So Lack Attack just did a cool little I don't know if it's like an Easter egg, but he did what's called a crystal flash. The game does show you how to do one in the intro screen, like after you have a completed file on your cart, I think, or something. I don't know how the intro screen videos work. But essentially, if you have enough ammo all around, you can lay a power bomb and hold down a button combination, and it causes the crystal flash to happen, and it fills up all your E-tanks and reserves if you have any. Definitely good to know when you get put in some interesting situations, especially in the randomizer. It can be way more useful in the rando than it can in the normal game.
Yeah, I don't think I ever did one casually. They may have said how to do it in Nintendo Power, but I don't know if it actually like explicitly told you how to do it in
Maybe in
the instruction manual or something.
Maybe in the manual. It definitely doesn't in the game. It just shows you that.
Yeah, it shows you
like a crystal flash, but it doesn't tell you how to do it.
Yeah, and it shows you that it uses ammo and stuff, but it doesn't show you that like you need to hold like down and shoot for it to actually work.
Right.
Apparently Nintendo Power taught you about infinite bomb jumping and recommended you use turbo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, the special weapon charge attacks are also shown off on the title screen cutscenes, which is pretty neat. There's a lot of cool little things. Also, Super Metroid as a whole is like a wonderfully made video game in terms of like it's having zero dialogue basically, and it teaching you how things work naturally.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Ooh, nice.
Oh, nice bomb jump there.
Thanks.
It's fun to watch Zos play Link to the Past for a long period of time, and then Lack play Super Metroid for a long period of time.
Fun, yeah.
I'm enjoying myself.
Good question here from Number One Lackey. Is the reason why these two games were chosen for a mashup? I believe it has to do with the programming of some kind.
Well, yes and no. So obviously the programming was a big part of it, but going back, years and years ago, the Link to the Past community and the Super Metroid community, speedrun wise, were very overlapping. Like a lot of people who ran Super Metroid dabbled in Link to the Past a little bit, and vice versa. And so there was always like, we used to do like both game any percent races. You're right there, Zost.
I just heard Link fall. That's all I know.
So there was enough overlap to where, there was always joked about, making some sort of combo game, and then Total ended up making that a reality in 2000. Goodness, 2017 now, I think.
Yeah, I think it was a few years ago, yeah, or a couple years ago, anyway.
But yeah, it all started back in the old days where we were just a bunch of young kids playing video games fast.
Y'all are dating us horribly between Lack talking about Nintendo power and just saying, making me feel old.
Please, you're like 10 years younger than me. Maybe not that much.
I think
but
you
are younger than me.
Me and Sky might have to fight for who's the youngest here right now.
Possibly.
I turned the big 3-0 this year, so.
Yeah, I'm a little older than that. Not much, but a little bit. Congrats, though.
I remember 30.
I don't.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think Zos remembers 30.
Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah, chat's calling us young. See, there you go. Now we don't have to feel so old anymore. I knew chat would come through.
Yeah, the one nice thing about playing older games like this is generally the community is also older. Which is nice and refreshing.
Yeah, Oth and I were talking about this on our way back from GDQ. We were noticing, we have some next-gen speedrunners and whatnot, and then the people who are currently still speedrunning, the old boys, as we call it. I remember telling Spike, because Spike was starting to get a little bit of gray on his chin. I told Spike, come on now, don't let work, age you like this, and he laughed. Gray already.
Showing off my great SM movement there. I thought I was stuck, actually. It's really dangerous to go around Super Metroid without, if you don't have regular bombs and you just have power bombs, because you can get a little kind of bomb happy and you can run out and you can soft lock yourself that way.
Yeah, you do need to be a little careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, the main thing is like you really want 10 power bombs before you go to Super Metroid. If you can get 10 power bombs.
Sure.
Yeah.
Very helpful to have at least 10.
Yeah, 10 power bombs. It is still a little inconvenient in some places, but clearing out Super Metroid isn't terrible with 10. When you have 5, you need to really think about what you want to do and whether you want to do stuff and then go back and farm in a room with some fireflies in it or something like that. It's definitely rough. Then the only other place you really need to actually keep an eye out for power bombs, if you don't have morph ball bombs, it's Lower Norfair, because you're hard required to use a bunch of them.
Wreck ship can be a problem sometimes too.
Yeah, getting items in the back. It's you can.
You don't have regular bombs, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah, at the very least, the like spore things drop power bombs and wreck ship, so you can
True.
farm
It's
them
really
up.
slow to farm those.
Yeah,
If you need like a bunch of them, like, you're really wasting a lot of time farming those.
yeah.
So for those watching,
Goodness.
wondering about progress right now, one of the best ways to determine progress is you look at I believe, the crystals at the bottom, and then the bosses defeated on that Super Metroid statue down there. That will give you an indication of what's going on with that, because you need all 4 bosses to defeat, and a certain amount of health, I believe, to beat Mother Brain. And then you need all of the crystals plus a sword, I want to say, to defeat Ganon. Again, you can correct me on any of that.
Yeah, you need the Master Sword at the very least, and then all 7 crystals, which, you know, items may vary. You do need to beat all 4 Super Metroid bosses, and you need at least 3 E-Tanks if you have Various Suit. If you happen to beat all the bosses without Various Suit, you need more than 3 E-Tanks to do that anyways.
Yeah, good luck.
You need 7 E-Tanks in total to survive Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam without Various Suit. One 6. I always
600
forget.
damage.
Oh yeah. And you can do it with 6.
It makes for a top
But,
5 to do that.
Yeah.
No.
Lower Norfair with 6 is a little more sketchy though.
If you have gravity, it's not too bad.
Yeah, so there is a slight change to Super Metroid for the randomizer. So normally Gravity Suit also gives you the heat prevention or heat damage prevention that Various Suit does, but in the randomizer, that was removed just because if you found Gravity before Varia, that'd basically make Varia useless, other than Rainbow Beam and Mother Brain. So Varia is the only suit that prevents heat damage. Both suits do reduce the amount of damage you take, and then if you have Gravity and not Varia, you take damage from heat slower.
This is a fantastic lore question. This is for Andy in particular. This is from 88. So Andy, how nervous were you to die when one hit KO came around before Patty slapped the controller out of your hand?
Honestly, crowd control was like the least nervous I've ever been for a GDQ run up until the end. Because like crowd control, it's super unpredictable, it's super volatile. Like I wasn't expected to do well. I was expected to die a lot, which I did. So it was very, very low stress for me. But so I was overestimate, shocker. The original plan was for the estimate to be like a hard cutoff because I was so close to actually finishing. They let me play a little longer. And then when I fell at Ganon, they told me that I had one more chance, and if I fell or died, that they were going to cut me short.
Wow,
so that's when I got nervous.
Yeah, no kidding.
I didn't want to get cut at Ganon, but we pulled it through. But yeah, it was super fun. I had a blast doing crowd control. But yeah, I wasn't super nervous at all. It was all laughs.
Another question: when are we going to see the 2 Ganon fight that was supposed to be at AGDQ? I forgot about the 2 Ganon fight.
Yeah, so I tested some of the live event exclusive effects right before GDQ, and 2 Ganon spawned in my practice. I think there's a clip out there that Jakku tweeted, I believe. Yeah, I'm pretty bummed that the special effect they had to force 2 Ganons to pop up didn't work properly. Good old Kraid DLC.
There you go.
How was the dance, Lack?
I would dance again.
The one fun thing with Kraid is if you damage boost off Kraid while it's rising out of the ground, you kind of just like get shot into the top right of the screen. It's a pretty fun thing to do while you're sitting around if you have a bunch of health to spare.
How about that dance for Zost?
Had a little bit of a dance going too.
That was fun. Well done, Zost. Well done.
Thanks.
You also might notice that when Super Metroid bosses are killed on the tracker, it actually goes gray instead of gets lit up. That's because Super Metroid, when you find the gold 4 statue, as you beat the bosses, it goes gray. So it's just true to the game. But sometimes people can get confused about what bosses are beaten and what bosses are not.
Everyone take this moment. Remember to stay hydrated.
Yeah, I just had some water. It was good.
I'm actually drinking out of my my Yeti GDQ water bottle that I got from this past HDQ.
Nice.
Highly recommend.
Man, having X-ray is killing me. Just because every time I switch weapons and I'm running, I just use my X-ray.
Yup.
It's great.
Yeah, so a lot of people hate X-ray beam. If you're not playing the game casually.
I love it too.
I also enjoy it, but I'm also, I'm okay with using the item cancel button a million times. But basically, what triggers X-ray is the run button when you have it selected. So if you're just cycling through your items, if you're holding the run button, you happen to cycle the X-ray, it just kills all your momentum. You stop running, and you start scanning directly in front of you, which you might not want to do in a in a race.
In a race, yeah.
I used to hate it. I learned to love it.
Yeah, it definitely took some getting used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's not too bad. Obviously, you want plasma and charge beam or something to go along with it to make it, super useful. But
What?
Hope this works.
I was trying to shoot that platform below me, but I guess you need wave beam.
yeah, maybe you could have laid a power bomb as well. But
They're precious.
they are for sure.
It's making me nervous because I hear Zo's playing Link to the Past. And I'm like, I need to go back there, but it's been a while.
So
I'm
this is actually done with Super Metroid already.
I would not be surprised.
No, I'm not even close. Don't worry, like.
Honestly, I think this is a pretty cool. This has been a super interesting race because both of you guys have done like literally the opposite things,
Nice.
and you have totally different things. It's been really interesting. This is like perfect.
Oh my gosh!
Perfect rando race.
Hooray!
Oh, I can't go this way. Yeah, okay.
That is awesome. Oh. Nice.
Someone talking about someone slapping the Patty slapping the controller out of your hand reminds me we should probably have Patty here at some point.
That would be fantastic. I'm sure that would be an entertaining segment for sure.
Does Patty play any randos?
Oh yeah.
Back to back.
He's heating up.
Oh man, dude! If you become on fire with your next check, I don't know.
That would be pretty sick. Yeah.
Patty does from time to time, but not too often. Patty's the kind of guy who plays what he wants to play, which I respect.
One of the things I like to do on the show is I like to have people who normally just kind of sit back, chill, and do commentary. I like to at least give them a choice as to whether or not they'd like to run. I hadn't seen Patty run something in a bit. Wonder if I could convince him.
I will say Patty agreed to do an OOT crowd control race with me for a Spike Vegeta event, so he can be convinced for sure.
Now, was he quiet while he played, or did he just keep doing what Patty does best during that?
We haven't done it yet.
Okay, I'm curious then.
The state of OOT crowd control, at least back when it was first getting planned, was not quite up to par with what we wanted. So there lacked a left-facing gate glitch. Normally you need wave beam to hit that gate as well, but with left-facing gates, it's a little bit easier to shoot with a missile or a super missile from the opposite side.
You think he stands a chance?
Ooh,
Nope.
This is a tough one.
What? Hello?
Sometimes you got to hit him twice. It's weird.
I'm about to say, I'm like, that has
So,
never happened before.
Yeah. So as I was saying earlier, plasma pierces enemies. So when this cute little friendo opens his mouth and takes a plasma shot, it hits him basically like every frame of contact through the mouth, and that just can't handle it. Has to walk all the way back.
I'm sorry I didn't go 3 for 3.
Dang.
That would have been pretty amazing, but not today.
Someone just asked who's winning, and somebody in chat said Patty's winning. That's a really good answer.
Is Patty winning by being asleep still, maybe?
Yes, he is.
I guess something we haven't talked about really is items. There's 316 item locations in total between both games. There's exactly 100 in Super Metroid, and there's 216 in A Link to the Past. Not all 216 can be key items. There's all the dungeon items that you have to take into account as well. But Link to the Past has, a decent amount more items to check.
I think that's what also makes these two games so good, is because items unlock progression in each of the games. So like, we were talking about Mario World Randomizer earlier. Like, I don't think it'd be it's not a great candidate because nothing really unlocks something else unless you do change some things out. But
I would say every time you unlock an exit, you could unlock something, and then you could maybe open the door to Key Sanity and Link to the Past with that many more added items.
yeah, you'd have to get pretty creative, I guess. But
Yeah.
tell you what, I'm happy I came over here.
Yeah, it's been all right.
I guess if you did like Mario 3 for All Stars, there's items in there, but even then, that would be kind of odd. So yeah, these are all the noises you all don't get to hear when they're on like the GDQ stage playing. You don't get to hear, people hesitating or people being frustrated or people contemplating. This is all the good stuff you get to miss.
Yeah, there's definitely a plethora of video game noises from a lot of people that you don't hear.
I forgot to check something off that I got, and man, that really gives me a lot of progression.
Zost being a show-off.
At least Kraid got to dance once today.
Yeah, that's right. Not a shutout.
So falling in the spikes actually reduces lag by a pretty good amount. When Kraid is rising up, because otherwise it lags a lot. It's just a little bit dangerous as far as getting back into position for the quick kill.
Mm.
So, are there more difficult settings than this out of curiosity?
Currently, no. There is some plans to add in, or at least we've talked about adding key sanity, which would also include keys for Super Metroid, for the eye doors. But that hasn't been implemented yet.
Yeah, that'd be pretty sweet. I know if I don't do these now, I'm gonna forget.
Yeah, I was gonna say, Lack, I saw that nice trick.
Oh, thank you. That's the only tech I know. Yeah, I'll take it.
Oh no!
Did you die again in Super Metroid?
Yeah.
It's tough.
Sometimes you just mess up space jump.
Yeah. Space jump's a tough one to optimize your movement for.
Especially going from like underwater to above water.
Yeah.
So how you guys feeling? Think you're playing well? You think you're making good decisions? What's the verdict?
I think so. I think I'm doing what I can with what I've got.
I think I've done pretty good. I mean, I've probably not routed Link to the Past optimally, but I never do because it's not my strong point. I'm not really the best router. I'm more of an execution guy because I've played more vanilla speedruns. I did play this quite a bit. I got pretty good at it, and I'm a little rusty on the routing. But overall, I'm really happy. I didn't. I mean, if I didn't get stuck on something really bad, I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah. Didn't pull an Ivan. Yeah.
Wait. The callouts. What about Ivan?
So in the SMZ3 tournament that was hosted last year, Ivan during the Swiss stage, Ivan miscounted his items in Skull Woods and left Morph Ball in the big chest for about 35 minutes.
Oh, oh, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, it was
Yeah, where was I at, Coach?
a little too far to the right. Yeah, not quite close enough to the edge.
I get scared.
So we're on the topic of combo randomizers. Do you think any other game could be combined with either Super Metroid or Link to the Past? I mean, I don't know much about the programming of it, but what else do you think might be a good fit for something like this?
It's hard to really say like whether something will work or not until somebody actually makes it and you try it yourself. For a long time, a lot of people thought a Link to the Past randomizer was going to be super boring, super bad, too linear. And then, it got made and, here we are 4 years later almost, and it's thriving.
Yeah, it's got to be the most played game on Twitch by like number of people. Or at least classic game, I would say.
Yeah.
I would like to see some RPGs with crossovers. I think that would be super fun, like Final Fantasy 4 and 6 or something like that. Because, you could find something that would unlock progression in the other game. And it'd be much different, but I think there's a market for that, I guess.
Oh,
yeah, I mean, there's probably somebody out there willing to try anything. You just need to find somebody to make it.
Yeah,
the hard part. Zost is trying to do a little clip here.
Clip.
It's pretty precise.
Yeah.
He's trying to.
I know what you're doing. Yeah, I was like, I know what you're doing.
Dang it. I wouldn't. If this was less of a fun race, I would probably not go for this with this item set because I don't know how to do as well with this.
Basically, if you freeze this little guy at a certain height, you can end up tricking the game into not thinking there's a ceiling above Samus's head when there actually is, and you can jump through it. There we go.
So on my wish list of combo randomizers, I think you take the Super Mario All-Stars, the All-5 cart, and you use the Super Mario World overworld, but it can be any stage from any of the 5 games.
That'd be cool.
Pretty fun. It's a lot of Mario.
It sure is. What's the winning condition?
You get to Bowser in the Super Mario World overworld, so just to get to Valley of Bowser.
Gotcha.
What about the other Bowsers, though?
Don't they mix up where the Star Road is?
What do you mean?
In SMW randomizer?
The only
like the Star Road portals?
They do. The only context I have ever seen in the SMW in terms of category is typically all castles, because some of the castles could be in the special stage and you have to look for the Star Roads.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's cool. Cool.
But yeah, that's something that's been on my wish list for a while, is to combine all the All-Star stuff together. You already have an overworld. You can either use Super Mario World or you can use the Super Mario Bros. 3 overworld to make it a little less complicated.
Are you ready for this cool trick?
Oh, baby.
Totally worth it.
So there, Zost showed off the X-ray plasma abuse there a little bit.
Nice. Did you see what I saw there, Andy?
No, I didn't.
You don't see it now.
Oh, I see it now.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, great.
You can click that on your tracker,
Oh, that's right. I could.
Oh, Andy, that's creative. I like that. I'm gonna do that in the future.
I forgot you could do that. Sorry, I forgot.
Meanwhile, you know, Zo's doing some fancy stuff too.
The second ice clip he did on the mock droid there is way easier than off the worm guy. There's like a super consistent setup to get the mock droid exactly where you need him.
Ooh, I like this question from Chad. Who benefits more in this, a Metroid runner or I should say a Super Metroid runner or a Link to the Past runner?
That's a tough one.
Man,
Super Metroid is super execution heavy. And you know, just by nature, Zos is going to get through Super Metroid more quickly. But having, you know, Link to the Past routing knowledge can also save you a ton of time. Where it's, you know, obviously if you're good at executing,
executioning, yeah.
if you're good at executing in Link to the Past, you're obviously going to save time over that as well. So it's tough to say. They're both pretty tough games to optimize at a high level. So I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer for that.
I think Super Metroid is a game you really don't know how much time you're losing until you watch someone who's better than you. Like, I feel like I go pretty quickly through these games, and then I watch like an actual speedrunner, and man, it's like it could be like 30 seconds per room if you're not careful. It can add up really quick.
Yeah, Super Metroid is one of those games that's like, it's very obvious when you're making mistakes. Where Link to the Past, it might not be quite as obvious or as flashy, but you can just lose time a lot of places and not even know where it happened.
Like losing 100 health to these dudes every time they hit you.
Yeah, that's something that can happen.
Oh gosh. Nope.
Tell us how you feel about that.
Oh, I feel great about that.
I hear that sigh all the time, every couple weeks here in RNG, and I know what that means. I can't say tell us how you really feel, because that could lead to some pretty bad answers.
Are you asking me? Or
Yeah.
Zeus? Oh. I mean, I feel okay, but I'm not doing really good health-wise. Oh, don't touch that guy. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
One day I will figure out a soundboard where you can just insert that bleep like on TV if someone needs it.
I could do that with my mixer, but I won't.
Which mixer do you have?
I have a Go XLR.
Is that where you can... Oh, like an audio mixer? Is that what
Yeah.
you're... Okay.
Yeah, there's a button that's called !@ @symbol $$ and it bleeps whatever I'm saying.
It's kind of fun. I feel like I need that. Just for the laughs.
Yeah, you wouldn't even have to curse. You just hit the button. And
I could just hit the button.
I
if
can
want
just
to.
press it and you'll hear a nice old beat.
It's my first one of those. X-ray, stop. Ow.
Oh.
Black currently in a very dangerous and hairy place.
Nah, this is easy.
That's easy. I always had difficulty with that. I'm just saying. I think a lot of people.
You mean that one room?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's really just learning how to fight them will go a long way. No, no, no. No!
I always thought these birds looked like Meta Knight. From Kirby.
Yeah, for sure. It'd be great if I could quit losing health, thank you, while I'm trying to farm. Oh! Stop it!
Oh my god.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay.
There's a larger platform to the left that's 2 tiles wide. If you wanna go farm over there.
I'm gonna farm here on the single tile. Alright. I figured out the timing for space jump.
Yeah, that was definitely a net loss for Lack there for a little while.
Yeah. It was...
but we're back on track. We're in the positives.
Like, I'm not gonna say I'm judging you, but that's definitely one way to farm.
How would you do it?
Isn't there something in a couple rooms adjacent where that's easier to farm? Maybe I'm wrong.
Well, it's easier, but the only reason I'm doing it here is because you can get 2.
Ah, that's fair.
Stop taking a bath. Oh, there's 3.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple. Oh my god. There's a couple better ways to do this farming, but it's definitely faster to farm off 2 than 1.
Oh my god. Get out.
One of the faster ways
a
to farm is to not fall in the acid.
This guy.
I told you there was a 2 tile wide farm over here.
Oh, I knew it was. Well, once you told me, I knew it was here. All right, we're going in. This is easy. If you watched Oates play, he died a few times. We're not going to do that here, hopefully.
Whoa, the shade lack.
He also is playing Super Metroid Impossible and not randomizer with like a billion safeties.
Yeah, it's a pretty tough fight in Impossible. Jokes aside, it didn't surprise me it took that many tries for Oates, considering how temperamental that fight is on that version.
Well, he had it like first try. Like it was almost there and just took
Yeah.
like one bad hit and it got him off.
All it takes.
The
It's
one
funny,
critique I have for that fight was if you turn your reserves off to manual, and Ridley hits you like with the swoop, like when Ridley dies and swoops down with the tail. If you pause right before Ridley hits you, and you get to 0 health, you still have all your reserves. It doesn't trigger your reserves. You can't die like when you're in pause. So you could avoid dying there. You got Ridley killed on your reserves.
Good job, Black.
Thanks.
It's actually used in the run now to skip Spring Ball. You end up taking 2 hits from a crab, go into crab supers, and so it boosts you up high enough to get plasma early.
Oh.
But I watched Oates play the normal Super Metroid game on stream a couple days ago, and he was absolutely terrible because he's only been playing Impossible for the last like 2.5 months.
His run up to Ridley was really good, though.
Yeah, it was really good. If you watch him stream it, pretty much all of his runs died at Dragon or sooner. So the fact that he got through Batoon and Dragon first try is absolutely incredible. Yeah, if you're just coming in, this is a Link to the Past and Super Metroid combo randomizer run by Lack Attack 24 and Zosty. You need to beat both games to finish. You gotta beat Mother Brain and Ganon.
Yep, and if you're just coming in as well, this is a show called Random Number Generation. This is a show on the GDQ Hotfix channel. Hotfix is the programming that takes place between games done quicks, and it is a show about randomizers and their communities, and we typically do casual races and get to know the runners and whatnot, so we're happy to have you here, and this show will take place every other Tuesday. And thank you so much again. Please follow everyone involved here, Like Attack 24, Zosty, and our lovely commentator, Andy. Thank you so much again, everybody, for doing this. It's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, this is super fun.
And a bunch of fun. It's hard to tell, you know, who is in the lead, but this is a pretty close race for what it's worth so far.
Now's probably a good time to stop taking damage.
It's a tough room, Lack.
Yeah, it's a little easier when you're able to see, but
This is looking more like Wanda Gamelon right now.
oh man, that is tempting.
Disney thing. Oh yeah.
Nah, I'm probably okay.
Famous last words.
Yeah. Nice.
Ooh.
It's at least good to
That's-
have.
Yeah.
Let's wait in the cubby. My favorite cubby.
I know where you're at.
I don't think anyone's ever completed Super Metroid blindfolded, chat. No.
They have.
Wait, really?
Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
Wait, who has? That's ridiculous. I want to hear more.
You would have to practice like all the sound cues and rooms to be able to do it. Because I tried to do it. I tried to do blind, which means I didn't practice or anything for it. And I beat Kraid, which is really difficult as it was. But then I got to like down to Norfair, and I stepped off the elevator and I was like, okay, this is as far as I can do it. It's like so hard. Like it's insanely hard just to get off a Sari station.
So you have completed this blindfolded, Zost?
I haven't, but people have.
Oh, you gotta do that then.
It has been done.
I don't know.
I know Lack did Zelda 1 blindfolded, I believe.
I have done that.
Did you do the second quest?
I did both of them, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was pretty insane. I was not the first to do it. I think Crystal Saver, who actually, if you're interested in blindfolded runs, you really should check out Crystal Saver's channel. He's done Breath of the Wild blindfolded, which makes no sense to me. Beaten that, but does a whole lot of other games. So him and Jay Coper both did it. but I'd like to do. I was the first one to do second quest, but I think that's just they just hadn't done it yet. I think that was the only reason. All right, finally out of there.
Link to the Past has been done blindfolded a couple times as well, by a couple different people.
Let's go back.
Someone even did like a 100% with major glitches blindfolded run, which blows my mind.
That is pretty crazy.
I'm just going to assume someone has completed a run blindfolded now after hearing that, because I would have never guessed someone completed Super Metroid blindfolded.
Yeah, it's a tough one because if you get in a big room, it's hard to tell where you're at. It's really difficult.
Yeah, like I guess you would use your beam to kind of figure out where you're at, but
Right.
I don't know if you can. Well, is there a beam limit on the screen? I can't even remember now. And I'm playing like not right now, but
well, like if it
I'm
goes
playing.
off the screen, it doesn't hit anything. Yeah, if that's what you mean.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess you could probably figure it out that way. All right, at least that's nothing.
I'm starting to think that One Mind is the real difficult thing, which I believe One Mind does exist also for Link to the Past.
It
does.
Definitely does. And Zoe's just being flashy here.
You're actually right because it's slower to do that.
Zoe's doing lava spark when he's got both suits and space jump.
Oh, so you found the other suit, huh?
Yes.
Nice.
Don't worry, Lag. You'll find it soon.
Yeah, I'll find it eventually. There it is. I'm just kidding. I didn't find it.
Getting colder.
Oh, no. Well, here we go.
I guess I can reiterate how it works for some newer viewers. Basically, both games items are shuffled between each other. 216 locations Link to the Past, 100 locations in Super Metroid. Items for Super Metroid can be in Link to the Past and vice versa. They don't have to be. There are 4 static transition points in both games to transition between the two. Criteria takes you to very early light worlds. Death Mountain takes you to Upper Norfair. Meridia takes you to Dark World Ice Rod area, and Lower Norfair takes you to the Mire area. Those are always the same. You can use them to your benefit with routing and stuff. Yeah, that's it.
Oh wait.
Here's a portal right here on Zosty's screen.
Well.
So before I forget, let's take this time to shout out some key community members for this randomizer. So who are some of the big influencers? Who were some of the developers for that? I just want to make sure these people who've taken all this time to create this randomizer receive proper credit.
I would say personally, at least for SM, Resurrect in total.
Yeah, Desirect also was the first person to make Link to the Past randomizer as well. But there's a bunch of devs for Link to the Past. VTorp and Carcat were the two big ones who made it happen. Desirect as well. And there's also people that have been helping a lot with some of the on the side stuff for the combo randomizer. Lots of people help with testing. There's definitely always a bunch of people behind the scenes with these kind of things. Yeah, Total is the mastermind behind the combo.
All right, well done for lack there.
Thanks.
Hardest boss in the game.
Oh yeah,
It's pretty tough.
impossible.
Ember Sword makes it pretty nice though.
Wait, how do I do this? It's not that I'm supposed to have here. Yeah.
Do you
This is
think?
interesting.
Oh, yeah, it is. I was going to ask, do you think Super Metroid Impossible could be integrated into this combo randa?
Probably.
Super Metroid Impossible is also like super linear in terms of where it wants you to go and stuff.
That could be a
So
problem.
yeah.
Ah,
Nice thing about Super Metroid is, I guess both of these games really is they're relatively open, but they also have like, some form of hard requirements to get to certain places. Super Metroid a little less so than Link to the Past. Super Metroid has a lot of nice gay glitch, Jesus.
Thanks.
Link to the Past has a lot of just straight up hard locks for certain areas, and dungeons and stuff like that, where Super Metroid has like
You don't have
items.
to have anything.
Yeah, you don't really need anything in Super Metroid. There's just stuff that makes everything like faster, more convenient. And like usually there's different combinations of items that will let you get stuff, and there's not like one true hard lock for stuff mostly.
I wish I could be as graceful and sneaky as this about Andy, but reminder to mark items if you've gotten them. Take a look over.
Oh.
Hey, I didn't call you out. I'm just saying.
Yeah, lack God.
What do I have? I've done everything.
Oh.
All right, so I think the thing in particular is make sure y'all are on the proper sword upgrades.
Oh.
Yeah. Just kidding.
I forgot that was on there.
Oh, baby. Think I've ever been more excited about a drop than right then.
There's again no way to really indicate who's in the lead other than what I was talking about earlier. Crystal's boss is defeated in Super Metroid, but this is a pretty close race so far. Also, reminder, whenever you get your next item next, stand up, stretch, get a drink of water. Important things.
Nah. All right. Oop.
Oh. I can't help myself for doing that every once in a while.
No, that was cute. I like it. Yes, Chad, I'm telling you all to stay hydrated as well. It's a long race.
What? What?
Yeah, you all right there, Zeus?
No.
I know.
No,
Wish I
that's
could see
definitely-
it.
That's a no.
Oh yeah.
So you're the most animated runner we've
Oh
ever
my
had on the show
goodness.
so far. I like this.
Dude, all it takes is somebody playing the game they're not super comfortable with.
Maybe I should have people on the show play a randomizer they're only vaguely familiar with, and then we can see all the happy little accidents, you know? You know, someone who's only played Zelda 2 like once or something, or twice. Plays
Goodness,
Zelda 2
that sounds
random.
like a terrible idea.
Yeah, I've never even played that. That's I want to someday. It's actually one of the better randomizers out there, but it's pretty tough if you don't know how the game works.
Yeah, Zelda 2 is even tough playing, like, you know, the vanilla version and, you know, playing it through blind. I'll tell you something. You take the wrong direction in that game and run into tougher enemies and you're thinking you can do it. That game's just can be downright nightmarish sometimes.
Yeah, I actually just learned how to do the any percent category, which is really interesting of Zelda 2. You basically do this glitch that lets you just wrong warp around the entire game. So you actually skip a lot of stuff, but it is still pretty tough.
Actually, it's mentioned in chat here, playing Zelda 1 without knowing the locations of the caves, that is an actual setting, FYI, in Zelda 1.
Oh, yeah. Forget that.
You can randomize cave and bush locations, and I'll tell you, that is one of the most unpleasant settings in Zelda 1 you can possibly play on. No one plays it.
Sounds not great.
Yeah, that's not my favorite setting at all.
I blame Fred for that. Wait, like, wasn't that setting on for the Groundhog Day race last year?
It was not my favorite setting, but I could have read the README, which said that was in it. And I did not read the README.
How many days did it take you to try and go in a door or a bush cave that wasn't there?
Well, I mean, it took me a while just in general to figure out what was happening, but I quit after 45 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, it was not enjoyable for me, but I'm sure other people like it.
Yeah,
Get
and I
outta
mean,
here.
the worst part about that is there's caves that you can only get to with a ladder, so there's like a river and then a wall. So all of those spaces are ladder blocked. It's just oof. It was gross.
Yeah, at least with Link to the Past entrance shuffle and stuff like that, all of the entrances are in the same places. They just take you other places instead. It's actually a pretty fun, relatively new setting that I've been doing a lot that randomizes the doors inside the dungeons. So like all the
Oh,
rooms
wow.
are the same, but you can like you found desert and you went through a left transition. It could take you to like a Ganon's tower screen and stuff
Yikes.
like that. It's really fun. It's like doing Zelda dungeons for the first time. Those
Come on,
having just
Zos.
as much fun as in worst room in the game as Lack did.
Oh, I took at least 500 damage in there.
Nice, Zos.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's one of the big rooms. Like that high jump affects pretty significantly compared to how you would normally go through that room.
Yeah, with plasma you could just clear out the key hunters, but
Clearly, what Zeus did was faster.
clearly. Oh wait.
As a quick reminder, too, we're a little bit over 2 hours here. Remember, folks, GDQ Hotfix is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support the GDQ Hotfix programming, subs are the best way to do so. Sub revenue in January goes to the Prevent Cancer Foundation, same charity that was used for AGDQ. And remember that subs will be added to the final AGDQ total. So if you'd like to support PCF and then continue that sub in the next month and support the Hotfix, please get those subs in. Every bit of support's appreciated here.
So I hear Ridley, and it definitely took me at least 10 more minutes to get from worst room in the game to Ridley. Mostly because I farmed everything.
Yeah,
But
you took a couple baths, you know.
yeah, I
Baths
had to,
take time. You got to relax, you know.
had to get the corrosion off the suit. My orange suit. I'm pretty sure.
We're gonna see this quick kill lag.
Possibly. I have done it
Ooh.
in a randomizer. I've got the correct equipment.
I'll show you a cool trick here. I don't need to do it because I got spring ball, but I really love this trick.
I love Spring Ball.
It's so good, yeah.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
So it's good if you just have power bombs.
Yeah, it saves whole power bomb usage
Yeah, and the lag.
and some time.
Yeah.
Dang, nice try.
I tried. I got about halfway. I'll do it. Okay. The map.
Ridley can definitely be a quick fight if you are as well practiced as Zost is in it. Ridley also takes double damage from super missiles, so instead of it only takes 30 super missiles to kill instead of 60, which is what it takes from Mother Brain.
Someone had asked, is there a mobile tracker for Android? Not sure about that one. I'm not sure if we've had randomizer tracking of any kind on a phone, but it'd be a good idea.
There's a couple browser-based trackers that do work on mobile, but I don't think anyone's made like an actual mobile app for one.
Yeah. Of course.
Oh yeah, you you don't want that bird to run free in that cutscene.
No, you do not.
I've died that way once or twice.
See, this is part of the experience. We're hearing inputs right now.
That's how you know it's intense.
Wasn't quite as good as the green gate glitch he got on Warfare.
Yeah, it's harder when you're standing still for sure. When you get a run and you're practiced at doing the running green gate glitch,
Yeah,
it's got I think it's a 2-frame window instead of 1 frame, so it's a little easier. Plus, I did a lot of.
It just looks harder. Yeah, you did a lot of GT Classic not too long ago.
Yeah, we tend to prioritize the voice call over game sound. So we'll have a little bit of game sound, but because of the conversation and because of certain video game noises we've dubbed that you don't want to miss, you definitely want to be hearing us over the game volume.
Well, it sounds like this. Ba-ba.
Zosty, why are you just floating there?
It's a little trick called Spike Suit.
I've done that once, and it was extremely difficult.
That joke has been covered, chat. Have Lack and Andy synchronize their SM button configs, yet you never know when Andy will need to use the restroom.
No, not yet. We're still working that out.
I really do, and we've been talking about this throughout so far. I really do wish there was a better default control configuration for Super Metroid, because the one that's given by default is not good.
They might do that on purpose so that it's like, oh, I can go change it.
I ended up going like the Mega Man X default control scheme route.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people I talked to have done. I never played Mega Man X, so that's probably why I didn't use it.
Also, I have pretty big hands, so I can like fat thumb a lot of buttons at the same time and be okay with it. So that helps.
Shout outs to big hands.
The thing that I feel like is bad about the default is that the items select on select.
I actually just switched from that last year. That's what I used by default.
Items select on select?
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, it can be done. There's good runners that have ran with default controls, but
most people who run default at least swap item cancel and item select.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do that now. But I was like, why would you need to switch items that fast? And then I tried to learn some rooms, and it's like, oh yeah. Well, there you go. That's why. That's why you need to.
Imagine like Tori in room 3 with item select on select.
Oh, it's impossible.
Like that poor select button.
Oh no! Oh. Almost good.
Boo.
Thank you. I needed booze there. I welcome the booze. That was sad. That could have been good.
It was almost good.
Sure was.
All right, we're 2.5 hours in. How you guys feeling?
Feeling really good now.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. Uh-oh. I don't know if I like if Zeus feels good.
This is definitely an interesting race.
Ow.
Yes, this is still a race if the runners can speak to each other. This isn't supposed to be like some really intense race. I mean, there's tournaments for things like this. This is just supposed to be about getting to know the runners and the community members associated with it. This is like one of the chillest things you can do a rando race for. It's more about the people than it is about who finishes first in the race. So if you do want to catch this show is every other Tuesday right here on GDQ, unless there's a major event of some sort going on. So for anyone wanting to catch this, be sure to keep your eyes posted on the GDQ Twitter. We'll typically let you know when we go live. So again, for people just visiting or maybe seeing this game for the first time, can we explain what the hard logic settings mean? A couple people had questions about that.
Sure. So the hard logic is strictly for Super Metroid, not Link to the Past. Link to the Past is always no glitches at the moment, anyways. Hard logic just assumes you have knowledge about Super Metroid already. It assumes you can wall jump well. It assumes you can short charge, which is charging a Shine Spark in a short amount of time than normal. It assumes you can bomb jump. It assumes you know how to do Meridia without gravity suit. It assumes that you can aptly get through some heated rooms in Norfair or Upper Norfair without the various suits. It just opens up the potential item locations for some items a bit. You do need to beat both games. You can beat them in any order. When you beat Link to the Past, it just spits you out back on the pyramid. If you beat Super Metroid first, the escape sequence doesn't actually trigger. You just need to escape Mother Brain, and then you can go about exploring Super Metroid still. So beating one game without finding all of the items is not a bad thing. You can do that if you'd like, and then still explore the game later. And there are 4 portals that are always the same that take you between both games. You just saw Lack go from the Dark World Ice Rod cave area to the right of Ice Palace, and it took him to Meridia. That's one of the portals. Right next to Link's house, there's a portal to Crateria. On Death Mountain, there's a portal to Upper Norfair, and in the Misery Mire area, there's a portal to Lower Norfair. There is not an easy logic, unfortunately. There is a normal logic, which only assumes things that you would encounter in the Super Metroid playing normally, which is a very basic ability to wall jump, the ability to do a Shine Spark, and infinite bomb jumping. There we go. Lack getting the X-ray glitch this time on Dragon. It's a little tough to get Dragon down in one attempt without Wave Beam, I should say. Wave Beam actually adds a pretty decent chunk of damage to your beam combo.
I was actually pretty excited to show off my Dragon kill and then realized I had microwaves, so I didn't have to do it. I tried it and then looked up at my items. I was like, oh yeah.
So, Lack, is there anything you're worried about with your current item set?
I don't think so. Should I be?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I guess
You hinting?
so. I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think so. All right.
I'm hoping that the Lack doesn't run into any troubles, but I also kind of hope the realization happens, because it'd be funny. Yeah, for the normal logic, you really don't need a super extensive knowledge of wall jumping or shine sparking. Like, you don't have to short charge, so it's all just like full length shine sparks. And then the wall jumping is all super basic, just as wall jumping out of the Edakun area would be. That's probably like the hardest bit of wall jumping you would have to do in normal logic, is potentially wall jumping up Edakun area. That's multiple multiple wall jumps in a row.
Oh.
I don't know why I used a spin flash there. Spin slash does the same as. Well, yeah.
So again, for those of you just getting into the stream, this is Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer. Yes, both of these games are combined, and yes, you can find items for Link to the Past inside Super Metroid and vice versa. So you need to have a pretty good knowledge of both games in order to do this. And you need all of the crystals from Link to the Past to complete the game, plus the sword. And then in Super Metroid, you need to defeat all 4 bosses and make sure you have enough health to take on Mother Brain's Rainbow Beam. Yeah, the winner of this race in my heart's going to be the person who saves the animals.
Dang.
So we can both be the winner.
The only way I root for kill is if it's behind at a GDQ. And then I have to tell people to make sure to keep it close and donate for kill. But other than that, I'm all for saving the animals, not the frames. Sorry.
It's not frames though, it's seconds.
All right, so a little bit of a modifier. You need something better than the fighter sword to defeat Ganon. There you go.
Oh wait.
That's a good question. Is there any way you can require less than 7 crystals to get into Ganon's Tower? Is that a setting you can turn on?
In Link to the Past randomizer, it is.
Yeah.
I don't know about this one.
I don't think so.
It is not a thing in this one.
Yeah, there's not as many. It's like just open mode in SMZ3.
So this doesn't look like such a troll seed anymore, just based on what I'm seeing. This looked like a pretty reasonable one on the whole.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad.
Just felt a little dangerous at first. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Morph was kind of a little bit, late.
Morph was in a pretty rough spot. But other than that, everything's been pretty nice and like kind of in the path.
Right.
A little redemption there for you, Andy.
There we go.
Wow. I got knocked across the room. Somehow.
I was gonna say that's a fight that exists, Zost. Still a pretty close race overall. I would definitely say there's a slight edge right now over the other. That's all I'm gonna say though. I want to keep it a mystery between the runners.
Well, I think Zost has failed to mark some crystals,
Zost!
so it's a little closer than it appears.
Zost!
Yo, what?
Come on!
What did I do?
You only have 4 crystals?
Oh. What an on man.
Let's see how many Zost really has. Because if Zost is going where I think Zost is going, then this is pretty exciting.
Yes, it is. It is. It's what you're implying. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Dude, did you hammer the pegs in the wrong order? Oh man. Black, did you ever figure out what I was talking about?
I did not.
Right side Ganon's Tower is a little tricky without a particular item you do not have.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to think if I needed that or not. I guess I got lucky.
You don't need it, but you gotta
I would need it.
know how to do it.
I would need it, I guess. That's right. Hey, good call. That's only like 4 out of 22.
Yeah.
Been screwed by lower odds than that, so
Same.
yeah.
My
In front
favorite's
of
when Boots-
a live studio audience too.
My favorite's when boots are on the torch.
I have not seen that.
That used to be that used to be a thing that could happen in SMZ3.
Oh, is it not a thing that can happen anymore?
No, I think all locations are accessible now.
Interesting. Oh, I gotta do this. Yeah.
Oh.
Nice, Lag. Good job.
Mm-hmm. Thanks.
Yeah, it's like it's not all locations, but it's
Oh, shit.
all items, like all items collectible. So you could still have dungeon items locked behind themselves, like the Hera small key in the basement, Thieves Town small key in the big chests, stuff like that. But yeah, all items are all items are collectible.
Mm. Nice.
Please. I didn't get lucky.
Something intense is happening over there.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Well, actually,
Oh, nice.
What?
All right, let's see. Oh, you never. Dang, I don't remember where that was.
wow, that was a room Zeus. Nice.
Nice.
So the wizard rooms are really cool. Watching for the first time, just like seeing those rooms done quickly. It's not something you see all the time, or even think about when you haven't watched a speedrun before.
This dungeon in general is like, I feel so satisfying to do well.
Ugh.
Not that I'm doing particularly well, but
For how little you played A Link to the Past in the last year, probably you're doing pretty good.
yeah. Oh, nice recoil. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Perfect throw. All right, let's see this lack. Let's see it.
Very low chance. I've done it, but very low chance. Oh, it's already over.
Dude, Moldworm is heckin' Zost up today.
Yeah, it
It
was
is
bad.
courageous.
That puts pressure on you, Zos, to get that skip. They gotta
Oh,
see it.
Yeah, this was a super fun race to watch.
I'm glad it was. It's the main thing for something like this.
Oh, absolutely.
Entertaining.
The banter's been good too.
Oh, wow.
A triple. Oh baby.
Oh!
Triple.
Oh baby.
I believe Zos just illustrated.
Don't tell me Zost is rusty.
Zos just illustrated what PogChamp looks like in visual form. Oh.
Yeah, Lack missed a fire rod and morph bombs.
I sure did.
You need a charge shot for that to work without wave beam Lack, by the way.
Oh, cool.
Neither runner got high jump boots. I don't know if Zost saw where they were, but Lack did at some point.
I don't think I've seen where they're at.
They were at Shaft Supers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lack saw those like through his first trip through Retro Bryn after Morph Ball and was like, well, that's cool, I guess.
Yeah, it's like, well, probably not getting that.
Now that I know where they're at,
Yeah, go
it's
for
probably
it.
worth. I mean, I'm not gonna do it because it'd be, I wouldn't go buy it otherwise. Probably worth it just for Turian.
This is pretty cool to see side by side.
Side by side, Ganon Mother Brain.
Oh no. Oops.
Yeah. I probably also would have picked up those high jump boots right when I found speed. Speed was what, like East Death Mountain, I think.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah, East Death Mountain.
Yeah, Paradox.
Paradox Gate.
I guess Lack had most of Super Metroid done at that point already, in terms of like item checks, but who knows? Yeah, this was a really interesting race to watch. I think the biggest thing was staying in Link to the Past a little too long. In like the mid game, I suppose.
Wait.
Is this where I pick up the guitar and start playing like one of the people in this race? Yeah, that would probably be worth learning just to do that at the end. I do have a guitar. It could be my tribute.
I need Patty for some sound effects here. Is what we really need.
I
I can't get that high like he did in Norfair. It was so good.
the
So
next
good.
time, if we do another one of these, we'll make sure we have Patty just on acoustics.
Oh. Yeah, I can't do it.
I still still want to see Patty play something and sing along. I feel like that would be pretty awesome.
I feel like he does that on his stream.
Sometimes. Usually when I force him to.
Zos, did you save this for last for a reason? Given the how you feel about it?
Well, I just feel like it's probably been. I think it's been fixed since then. But I remember when this first came out, Wreck Ship was like pretty terrible in general.
Yeah, Wreck Ship did not have much this seed.
It didn't
But,
see either. I'm just used to trying.
It had the flute.
Oh yeah.
It'd be nice, yeah.
But yeah, Flute was that gravity suit, I'm pretty sure.
Yep.
Yeah, so
nothing
some people choose to. There's usually like the Wreck Ship late people and the Wreck Ship early people. Also, depending on your, I guess like both these runners had space jump pretty early, so going to Wreck Ship early wasn't that bad. But if you go if you go with like grapple or something, it can be a little tricky to get all of the items without other items on the side. Like Wreck Ship E-Tank is pretty rough, and sometimes like inaccessible without certain items.
Missile in the Sky can be really pain.
Yeah.
That's also super slow if you don't have like speed booster or space jump.
Springball can actually help you there. Bomb jumping is pretty bad. I mean, it's not that bad, but if you're not really good at bomb jumping, it's pretty tough. Let's see if I can miss the game up here. I think we did.
It's good old Terminator 20 rupees before heading to Torian.
Dot done.
GG.
That's 2:55.58 for Lack, a sub 3.
Yeah, that's my fastest ever.
Really?
Yeah, about like 12 minutes or something.
Yeah, honestly, the big difference is probably the hammer.
Yeah.
Oh
Black
yeah,
had
hammer.
super early.
Yeah. I left a lot of things unchecked. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have to do any Meridia, any.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I just went
that
straight to
too.
Dragon. I did like 2 checks in Swamp Palace and was like, wait, I think I'm actually in go mode.
I realized that's when you like kind of noticed that you were like, wait, maybe
Yeah.
I can finish the game.
Yeah. When I
That room
I
3
kn-
though.
Well, had I had the fire rod, I would have gone earlier. I wouldn't have as soon as I got Mir in House of Darkness is when I was like, that's what I needed. That's really what I needed. So
Yeah.
that was my go mode item minus fire rod if key was on right side.
Lack, you forgot the animals. Where's that on your tracker?
They're gone.
Yeah.
No.
well, they're dead. Sorry.
No.
I saw the Edicoons
Yeah.
earlier. I saw them.
Before we enter this Mother Brand battle here, please everybody follow the runners, the commentator, Like Attack 24, Zosti, and Andy. All of them very much deserve your follow. They are fantastic streamers. Please give them all a follow.
Yeah, also good job, Lack. That's a real good time.
Thanks, man. Yeah, it was.
Sub 3 is nothing to scoff at.
No, it's not. I was pretty. I mean, I was kind of nervous. I figured out where Zost was whenever he said, "Oh, you have to do baby skip now" because he missed it. I was like, "Oh, okay. As long as I don't die, I should be okay." 8:35 turn.
Was that actually faster, Zost, than going in the refill room?
Yeah,
Wow, that's
I
cool.
think so.
That is cool.
It's good if you have a reserve, so you can get all the way here and you can do it as Mother Brain spawns. That's really the good way to do it. But so I'm not entirely sure about doing it before then. It'd been risky to keep going
Yeah.
with no reserves.
Yeah, just one hit from anything and you're dead.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't really do it without like doing all the Zeb walls with missiles and stuff.
Yeah.
How long did it take you to find a sword?
You had a
Like-
sword before you, actually.
Did you?
Yeah, Lack's first sword was at Speed Booster,
yeah, Speed
and then
Booster.
he got another one at Wave right after. And I think Lack got his first sword in Link to the Past somewhere.
Or Zeus did.
Yeah, those, my bad.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know where Wave Beam was. Probably in a pendant dungeon
Or GT.
or in GT.
Wave Beam is like basically 0 required in hard mode Super Metroid.
Yeah, so it's just that one-off location. Could have been anywhere.
Wasn't Gold Tweezo, is what you meant? Wasn't over there.
A Wave Beam?
It was not over there.
No, I meant
Right.
like Gans Tower,
Um,
not Gold Teresa.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
So there was a question as to why the in-game timer is 2 minutes off the actual timer that we used.
So that could be
Is it like
to,
transition? Like
loading times within like between games and stuff. You know, if they ever like save and quit, there's that time that's not included. And you know, I don't know, general, you know, in-game time inaccuracies.
mhm.
Yeah, for the most part, it's usually like saving, quitting, or game transitions, or resetting your console.
Cordy, I faced right on the baby Metroid. I saw you say that earlier. Stand up glitch. See, that's what I was afraid of. I'm like, I'm probably gonna lose anyway because Zeus knows all the tricks.
It's more about routing than it is tricks. Especially with something this long. Like
Yeah,
SMO,
routing's super important.
Yeah. I'll be interested to go back and watch and see, like, what, because I heard you go back to, like, I mean, I had some information, like, I heard you go back to Link to the Past, and I was like, man, I wonder what he found that, like,
It was,
let him go
just
back.
Fire Rod, basically.
So Fire Rod was in
Yeah, he
SM
did
somewhere?
No, Fire Rod was in Zora Ledge.
Oh, because, so, I did not go up there because I didn't have the money. When I went to the waterfall, I looked at my rupee count and I had 400 and was like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to walk up there. And of course, something important's on the ledge. So
I actually knew about Firewall really early.
Yeah, so it was fake flipper early and probably checked it. Yeah.
yeah, when I went, well, because you got Moon Pearl right there, but I forgot to fake flipper up to Zora with the Moon Pearl. And so there wasn't, I think it was just supers up there, but no, there was something useful. Plasma. I think Plasma was there.
Yeah, Plasma was there.
I was gonna try it.
Oh, you tried Speedball?
Yeah, Blue Bomber.
Blue Bomber.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
It's a good try.
I couldn't remember if you could do it with a high jump without high jump or not.
So yeah, I didn't even think about that. It's a real cool strat, though.
Is it faster than doing the Shine Spark?
Yes.
Oh yeah. It's like a
'cause-
second faster.
The Shine
Because of
Spark
the
just has a ton of, well, the lag, and it also, like, once you do it, there's that amount of time that you can't move Samus.
Right.
Yeah,
That's what I meant was when you hit. Yeah.
Oh my god!
Uh-oh. I know what's about to happen.
Quiesos? Come on.
Spoilers.
Oh, right in the head. Uh-oh. Hello? Okay.
Of course.
I don't know if I've ever seen Zost escape with this little health before.
Yeah, that's actually impressive.
See, this is the
Only
proper
one.
finish right here.
I told him, I was like, you better save the animals for me. He's like, I will. So there you go, Sky.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
The true winner from chat. Yep.
That is the proper way to do it.
Are you gonna die?
No.
I guess not.
No.
No, he'll be fine.
I don't know anything about this game. I know you lose health.
Yeah! There we go.
Nice.
Good job.
All right, 30417 is what I got for you.
GG's, gentlemen.
Less than 10
Right.
minutes. That's really good. That's really, really good.
Yeah, nice run.
All right, please follow both these runners, Like Attack 24, Zosti, and of course our lovely commentator, Andy, as well. Andy, thank you so much for being here for this. We appreciate you too.
My pleasure. It was a blast to be a part of.
The next episode of Random Number Generation will be in 2 weeks. We are every other Tuesday. And the next episode I will preview because I've been starting to do this at the end of episodes. It will be Resident Evil 2 randomizer. So if y'all are looking forward to that one, it's going to be a good one. That community is very, very awesome. They reached out. It's going to be a great time. So real quick here, some announcements. The first step is going to be on Thursday here at 7 p.m. Frame Fatale Games List is out on Friday the 24th. Prize submission for Frame Fatale opens the 24th. Remember that GDQ Hotfix is brought to you by viewers like you. If you'd like to support GDQ Hotfix programming, subs are the best way to do so. Sub revenue in January goes to the Prevent Cancer Foundation. Those subs will be added to the final AGDQ total. Now, before we go to a quick ad break before the raid, do any of you all have anything to say? You want to plug yourselves again? Anything else?
Thanks for having me on the show, Scott. That's all I gotta say.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thanks. This was really fun. Just cool. I mean, this is like one of my favorite things to just play in general. And Zos is a good friend of mine, so it's cool to share the screen with him and Andy too, being a part with commentary.
Yeah,
And you,
that's fun.
Sky, of course.
Aw.
All friends all around. This is
Yeah.
good. Good
Good
stuff.
game, like.
Yeah, good game, man.
Yeah, GG's to both of you. Great race. All right, that's going to do for us. We're going to take a quick ad break, and then we're going to raid somebody. If you want to be a part of that raid, please stick around. Sticking around for ads also helps out GDQ Hotfix. So take care, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I'm Skybilz for Random Number Generation and the GDQ Hotfix. We'll be back in 2 weeks with another Random Number Generation. Take care, folks.